Hey, it's Drew from What If Universe, and I am here to bring you something new for the August Apocalypse series. For today, I bring you a What If on the show Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. And you want to know something? I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I really want to watch what absurd situations these characters can come up with. Like, these crazy ideas of putting your life on the line just for a children's card game. And there are so many times where characters could have actually ended the world or had the planet destroyed simply by just losing a single duel. For today, I'm going to be asking the question, what if Dartz was actually successful with its goal? Now, for those of you who don't remember, Dartz was, in a sense, a filler villain for the anime. That doesn't necessarily make him a bad villain, but it doesn't necessarily make him that good of one either. But anyways, he was the main antagonist in the Awakening a Dragon story arc. Dartz was the last king of Atlantis, and as leader of the Royal Calcos, Dartz was imparted powerful magical abilities that rivaled those of the Millennium items, like materializing duel monsters out of nowhere, summoning the Royal Calcos soldiers all over the world, and even recalling them at will, and also having the power to brainwash other people. Dartz also manifested the ability to control weather, rain, lightning, blasts that come from sky, and he could conjure a sword out of nothing. He could also communicate with people telepathically. He also had remote viewing, the ability to show vision, and using telekinesis. I'm telling you, this guy is insane for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Antagonist. He has so many powers, it's ridiculous. The Orichalcos also seemingly granted Dartz eternal youth, as he's been around for like 10,000 years since the passing of when he ruled Atlantis originally, and he hasn't really aged at all from visually that we can see. And Dartz was driven to revive this thing called the Great Leviathan to overthrow the world, so that way he could restore it in his image and bring back the marvelous world of Atlantis. To do so, Dartz required the souls of humans. With the corruption of the Orichalcos, it allowed Dartz to believe that the world was a wicked place, just like what Judge Frollo said in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and that humans had inherent evil and malice that's contained within their hearts. In this scenario, Dartz got the souls of the 3 duelists who wielded the legendary dragon cards. These duelists include Yugi, parentheses Atem, because he goes by both names. He's referred as Atem multiple times, but he's also referred as Yugi. The dub's a bit weird. Seto, Kaiba, and Joy Wheeler. And I'm referring to the dub names because a lot more people are familiar with the 4Kids dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! The original Japanese dub with English subtitles. At least the casual audiences. But those of you who watch it subbed, I applaud you. I could not really do that myself, because for me it would seem like if I was reading a book. Because I come to watch anime to have some entertainment. That's why I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Because of its absurdities, not to read it, because otherwise I would just read the manga, to be honest with you. So in the original, the only reason that Atem and Kaiba were even able to win their duel was because that Kaiba played the card the Fane of Critias to help Atem win. So if it weren't for Kaiba, then Yugi would have never been able to defeat Dartz in the first place. In this scenario, Kaiba plays some other card besides the Fane of Critias, and whatever card it wasn't good enough to help Atem. After Dartz's victory, he is a bit confused, but yet he feels the satisfaction of having the victory that he believes he well deserved. And by this point, he consults the Great Leviathan for guidance, because at this point, all the souls were collected to it. The Great Leviathan, the extremely ancient, ruthless creature, and was the one responsible for creating the Orichalcos stone. In the original series, Dartz stated that his soul was one of equal value, so I believe in this scenario, the Great Leviathan would absorb his soul as well, simply due to greed, with all the other millions of souls on Earth. I think at this point, Dartz would have been willing to even give up his soul to the creature at this point, considering how corrupted his mind was in the original, and not being aware of the consequences, and simply thinking, it's for the greater good, perhaps. This manipulation in Dartz's vision would never be realized due to his mind being so corrupted. He'll never be able to actually see his vision of the restored Atlantis that he truly wished. I'm gonna have to make a really quick deviation real quick. So, according to the English dub, the Great Leviathan is not related to dual monsters, apparently. But here's the thing, I'm gonna ignore this fact because the English dub is very notorious and infamous for leaving out key details like this. But anyways, let's get back to the what if. The Great Leviathan would be responsible for Dartz to be corrupted to the point where he's letting himself be consumed by this thing, capable of removing souls by absorbing them physically. In order to absorb their soul, there'd literally be nothing that could really stop this creature, seemingly. Much like Zork, who's also a creature that has similar abilities. The Leviathan was said that it was born to hatred and rage of humanity. So even if Yami Bakura wanted to try to summon Zork, I believe Zork would be fine with this outcome of humanity, literally being destroyed and being of good riddance, because that's what I think Zork would have been happy with anyways, even if it wasn't himself performing this. The Great Leviathan was capable of commandeering this control of the Egyptian god as well, being able to drain their power to the point where they could no longer help. Other continuities and continuations of Yugioh essentially cease to exist at this point. Because I think even in Arc V, if they're trying to bend realities and stuff, I think the Great Leviathan might be able to stop this, but here's the thing, I'm not too sure with that angle. It's a bit difficult to predict power scaling in Arc V, because as you keep going up in series, power scaling just keeps becoming more and more ridiculous. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And due to my reasoning, I would say it's because of most of the human characters basically aren't around. And even in an alternate timeline where Zone, Paradox, Aporia, even Anatomy are like mankind's last four saviors in an apocalyptic alternative future with the ability to time travel. I only state this reason because Zone would never have been born in this timeline to arrive at this point. Because the continuity that as far as I know, is that Yugioh, Yugioh GX, and 5Ds are all connected in a linear timeline. Zexal is loosely based in it, as far as I've researched, and Arc V just throws everything out of the doors and windows. So, let's just say that this universe is basically corrupted to a point where it's pretty hard for humanity to save it. Or at least anything that technically contains a soul. So, that's just where this universe is going to have to be left off at. But that's the unfortunate end to this universe, because even with what ifs that have endless possibilities that exist, sometimes that they may lead to tragedy and despair, similar to how this what if ends, where basically everyone dies, and up to the point where 5Ds exist, there won't be literally anything going on. And that's simply why we have to remember, in a what if universe, there are endless possibilities. For today's shoutout, I like to give a shout out to this really cool channel that I found called Mondo Cool. And he makes really cool videos on Dragon Ball What Ifs, and also likes to discover and dabble in original fan lore, or fan fiction. Take your terms the way you want to. I won't judge you. He also covers recently the My Hero story, which is actually the original My Hero Academia, which was a one-shot manga. And it happens to be a really cool storyline that I think you should all check out at the end of this video, because after all, this is actually not fanfiction or fan lore. This is actually created by the original creator of My Hero. Mondo also does a podcast, and I'm actually trying to get on it, so please send him messages all the time to let him know that I want to be on. I'm kidding, don't do that. Please don't do that to Mondo, don't. He doesn't deserve that suffering. And I only have, 200 subs, so over that actually, because I want to thank everyone for actually helping me get over 200 subscribers at the time of recording this. I've been working really hard on What If Deku Became Green Lantern Part 4, and I also plan to release a compilation of events from Season 1, a single video, and probably release it on Anime Royalty. As far as my podcast goes, my What If Blank was dubbed by 4Kids. I'm working on trying to get some guests, draft out more outlines for how I think the show would go. Like, these jelly donuts are amazing, or other fun stuff like that. So the podcast isn't dead, but to me it's more of like a once a month type of deal. If you have anyone you want to recommend, or what ifs you want me to do for that podcast, let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and share the video if you think someone might enjoy this. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Hello everyone, Uncle Joker here. Make sure to subscribe to the Society if you want to see more content, and use those opposable thumbs of yours to rate the video. If you want to be notified whenever I make a joke, hit that bell, because, you know, YouTube isn't enough of a joke as it is. Until next time, toodaloo!